All right, totally different question now. I hate my job, but I can't quit. I've got 3 kids, I've got to feed, I have to pay off a mortgage, and I have a really expensive lifestyle because I own a car and have lots of expensive tastes.
Wow.
What do I do?
Wow. That sucks. I've never
Yeah,
been
it
in that
does.
position. But actually, I do know a few people who have.
Me too.
I've had conversations with them about this. The only advice I can have, not from my own experience, is that when you're in that situation where everything you do for a job you absolutely hate, but you can't escape because you have financial responsibilities for your children, which is fair enough. You love your children, don't abandon them. You have a mortgage, you gotta feed your family. All I can say is that metaphorically, it's like you're in a very tight space, almost between like a rock and a hard space, I think they say. But in this case, it's almost like a very narrow alley where there is a gap to get to the other side, but it's very tight to wriggle around. So like the only way to get to the other side is actually take small movements bit at a time until you get to the other side and just persist and persist. Because if it was absolutely impossible, well then there wouldn't be that gap. The other thing you want to consider is that a few assumptions that you might be making. So you say, I have a lot of responsibilities around my kids, my mortgage and all that, and I have a job that I hate, but I have to keep it to fund this. I have to keep this. So let's challenge that assumption, because if you say, I have to keep this, what makes you think I have to keep this? Because is it possible that there might be another job, given your existing skill set, that might give you an opportunity to earn more and do less, to actually feed that more? Because if you don't challenge that assumption, then you'll always be stuck with what you tell yourself. So, a great thought leader used to say, the quality of a life is determined by the sorts of questions that you ask yourself. So rather than saying, I have to keep my job, you say, like, how can I still get paid the same amount I need to fund my financial responsibilities, but then do it in a different context? You'll be surprised at what shows up. The other side of the equation is that more often than not, you're probably already spending on bullshit.
Yep.
Right? Like people say, I have all this money, it's all tied up, but they'll still drink a lot on Friday night. Nothing wrong with drinking, nothing wrong with having party time. But if you're drinking too much persistently, well, there's funds that you aren't freeing up. Also, how about de-stress funds? Like, what are you doing for entertainment? What are you binge eating on? What are you buying that you don't necessarily need when you have free up funds? Because you'll be surprised at how resourceful the human construct is when you actually get back to actually what's important. You can cull a lot of things that aren't relevant to you. Now, I remember taking a huge pay cut to make the transition from a full-time job to earning a close to 6-figure income, just riding from the space of my own bedroom. And one of the things I realized was that I cut my overhead by about 33.3% purely because I had to, purely because I knew exactly what I wanted, and I didn't buy things I didn't need. I didn't eat excessively. I didn't live to eat. I ate to live, and I just didn't. I said no to all those social functions that weren't really progressing my life. Bit of tough love. Those sorts of things can happen because that sort of question is very limiting. That question inevitably puts you close to a dead end. So you got to shift around like what assumptions you're making about your life that make you think you're stuck, because more often than not, they're not right. Yep.